The Xbox 360. So this is going to be a very interesting video, and well, let's just get into it. So the Xbox 360 just recently turned 20 years old. This console was released in 2005 and was the second home console of the Xbox brand. Overall, it's a really good console. While it did have a very interesting history, it stood against the test of time to be one of the most iconic and well received consoles. So, well, let's just take a look at how well this console was. But of course, before we do that, let's take a look at its history. The Xbox was Microsoft's first home console, and while it did not win against the PlayStation 2, it sold pretty well and even outsold the Nintendo GameCube, which kind of really did show that the Xbox could be something. So when the Xbox 360 came around, they had to do something new to make it outsell the PlayStation 3. That was, of course, releasing it like a year before, and overall, it did pretty good. The new console came out, and there's some new things with it: an improved Xbox Live, achievements, and wireless controllers. Well, at least those kind of came soon. But it was the first console of the 7th generation. Although it did have some flaws because there was the Red Ring of Death where a lot of consoles were faulty. Although, to Microsoft's credit, they didn't actually do a lot of warranties when it came to the Xbox 360, and generally did improve the future consoles. So we'll give them some credit for that one. At least for now, because, take a look at the Xbox One. But of course, let's take a look at the console itself. The console, it's pretty interesting. Nothing too special about it. It's just a home console. But, it definitely got the job done. And, it's in this generation that this console would be the first to really use the HDMI output for HD games, and kind of definitely brought a new experience with these consoles alongside the PS3 and of course, and maybe the Wii. Don't quote me on that one. But of course, a console is only as strong as the games it produced, and well, that's kind of what influenced this video. We were of course going to be looking through some Xbox 360 games and giving our thoughts on them. That is, of course, just turned out to be a review. So, there's some really great Xbox 360 games that did come out, such as Bayonetta, the Battlefield series, Call of Duty, Gears of War, Fable, Forza, Left 4 Dead, and much more that it's just going to be really impossible to really name them all. The Xbox 360 had some really good first-party games and some terrific third-party games. The only issue with some of the games is that, well, the Xbox 360 used HD DVDs and not Blu-ray, which means that some games would come on multiple discs, such as Mass Effect 2, 3, Grand Theft Auto 5, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. And also, of course, Wolfenstein, The New Order, and of course, Final Fantasy 13. From PlayStation, these games, well, were on one disc. Or, I think in Wolfenstein case, I don't know if they even came out at all. But, well, the Xbox did use HD DVDs. It didn't really make it a bad console. It was also, it's kind of cool being able to see multiple discs and the new artwork with them. And of course, it's in this generation that DLC was more widely accessible. With online markets, that made it easier to purchase things in games, that being cosmetics, new levels, or just, add-ons like soundtracks or such. It really made this generation feel a little livelier. And of course, that meant a improved Xbox Live. This was, of course, the subscription-based online service that was introduced with the Xbox original. It made its return with the Xbox 360, and honestly became a lot better in this generation. There's also the backwards compatibility. Xbox 360 had a list of backwards compatible games that you could play on a console. Most of these are, of course, probably going to be first party titles, but there's some third party titles like The Simpsons Hit and Run, Mortal Kombat Deception, Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and of course, Doom 3 and Dead or Alive 3 that were playable on the Xbox 360, really making it quite an interesting console. And while the PlayStation 3 did have backwards compatibility, only some models were fully backwards compatible. While the PlayStation 3 can play all PS1 games, only a few models could play PS2 games, which made it a bit of a disappointment in terms of backwards compatibility. Not to mention, there's also storage for the console. The Xbox 360, well, at least the one we have, has about 500 gigabytes. It's a little useless, to be honest, but it's definitely interesting and, well, is nice. The Xbox 360 did eventually get more storage as the consoles continued to come out, and of course, improved improved UI with the dashboard. Well, some old dashboards are a bit more popular compared to the modern ones. We like the modern one, and it does look very cool. Then there's also achievements. If you completed a certain part of a game, you would get an achievement. This includes completing a level, completing the game on a certain difficulty, or getting all collectibles in a game. These added more replayability when it came to certain games, and overall made some games quite fun to experience all over again. It also kind of made playing some games quite the hassle, to be honest. But overall, achievements were pretty good, and there's some impressive ones that have been in several games. Then going back to the library, the Xbox 360 did have a really good library of first party and third party games. Several iconic series continued or even debuted on these consoles, such as Assassin's Creed, Left 4 Dead, Gears of War, and of course the Watch Dogs series. Although that's more of a crushing title, and of course some series gained more popularity with these consoles, such as Grand Theft Auto and of course Call of Duty, as some of the most popular games would have been on these consoles. Overall, what are my thoughts on the Xbox 360? Is it still worth playing today? Should you get one if you don't have one? Or should you just only focus on the newer consoles? Honestly, get an Xbox 360. It's a really good console. While the console itself is flawed in terms of, well, in some terms of accessibility, such as like slow download times, not to mention the HD DVD stuff, the console itself is still worth investing time into. Personally, I'd say just get the 360 Slim or 360 Enhanced models. The original models, well, they are good, might have the Red Ring of Death, and overall, are a bit of a unneeded experience compared to the newer models, which can probably find easier and are probably a little easier to use, and frankly, probably better to use. The Xbox 360 had some really good games, and had such an iconic library that it's worth checking out, even if you are just a casual gamer. The console itself is still worth owning, in my opinion. I've had mine since 2018, and I'm still happy to have it, and I collect games on it still. It's one of the best consoles released, and I can see why people really enjoyed this one. And overall, it's a really great console, and hopefully we see Microsoft in a time like this again. While the Xbox One and Series X are pretty good consoles too, there was definitely a sense of magic when it came to the Xbox 360, and hopefully they'll recapture it someday. But this was our review of the Xbox 360, and we'll of course continue to review older consoles. So until then, thank you all for watching, and have a wonderful day. See you all next time.